ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनहुँ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा। अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी। कुमति निवारि सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुभेशा। कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे। कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन। तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर। राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता वन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए। श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई। तुम मम प्रिय भरति सब भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे। अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जब कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कभी कौबिद कही सके कहते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाए राजपत दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका बलि मुख बाहि जलदि लागी गए अचरज राहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सवारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तर धरहि हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ करे कोई छूट है बंदी वहाँ सुख होय जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय बहडेरा पवन तने संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसो सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। राधे कृष्ण की ज्योत अलौकिक तीनों लोक बिछाए रही है राधे कृष्ण की ज्योत अलौकिक तीनों लोक बिछाए रही है भक्ति वेवश एक प्रेम पुजारिन फिर भी दीप जलाए रही है भक्ति वेवश एक प्रेम पुजारिन फिर भी दीप जलाए रही है कृष्ण को गोकुल से राधे को कृष्ण को गोकुल से राधे को बरसाने से बुलाए रही है दोनों करो स्वीकार कृपा कर जो गण आरती गाए रही है दोनों करो स्वीकार कृपा कर जो गण आरती गाए रही है भोर भय ते साँझ ढले तक भोर भय ते साँझ ढले तक सेवा को नित नेम हमारा स्नान कराए वो वस्त्र ओढ़ाए, वो भोग लगाए वो लागत प्यारा। स्नान कराए वो वस्त्र ओढ़ाए, वो भोग लगाए वो लागत प्यारा। कब तेरी हारत आपकी ओर, कब तेरी हारत आपकी ओर की आप हमारी और निहारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। Arjun. Now, how did this all start? Huh? We all know it, right? How did this entire Kurukshetra battle, what led to it? I will just like to resum it. Initially, there was, the Pandavas lost everything and they went to exile for 12 years. So, after 12 years of exile, they had to have 1 year of Guptvas. It's like, to be in hiding for a year. And if they would be detected, they would have to go for another round of exile for 10 years and again Guptvas. But if they were not found in that 1 year, they were asked to come back, and then Duryodhan would give them their rightful share of the kingdom. However, 12 years went by. The 13th year also went by. They could not locate him. And when Yudhishthir came to talk to Duryodhan and to seek what was rightfully his, according to him, Duryodhan refused. He said, "No, I'm not going to give you half a kingdom." Then Yudhishthir said, "Okay, if you do not want to give me the full kingdom, you do not want to give me half a kingdom, can you give me 5 villages so that each brother will live happily?" He said, "Not even 5 villages. I refuse to give you anything. I will not even give you that amount of land which can fit at the tip of a needle." Right? So Yudhishthir, as his name suggests, he is sthir. Yudh mein sthir. Yudhishthir. Right? Yudh mein ekdam sthir hai. So there is no kashmakash or doubt or any turmoil in his heart. Okay, so he is like, "Okay, fine. If this is what you want, no problem." He said to his brothers, "We as it is are used to living in the forest. We were happily living our lives. Let's not get into anything. Let's go back. How does it matter? स्थिर है ना, क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा? तो why fight for anything? That was his thinking. Let it be. Let's go. Yudhishthir ji, great, divine. But then Arjun came. He said, "No, it is not about us." He says it is not about us. It is not about how much land we'll get or what kind of, whether it is just or unjust for us 5 brothers. No, 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 no. It is not about justice to us. It is a dharma yudh. If these kind of people, like Duryodhan and the rest, who are adharmis of the highest order, if they come and sit on the throne and then they rule the world, just imagine what will happen to this world, what will happen to the people residing in, how much adharm will be spread by them. There won't be any space for dharma left in this world, in this universe, if these kind of people are allowed to rule. Fair enough, right? When the wise decide to remain quiet, the fools speak and the fools rule. So is it right, Arjun said, for the wise to remain quiet? Not for themselves should we fight, not for ourselves should we fight, Arjun said. We have to have a dharma yudh. We will fight for dharma. Yudhishthir said, yes, you're right. We will fight for dharma. If it was for ourselves, it was a futile battle. Why fight over a mere piece of land? But if it comes to dharma and establishing dharma, I am in it, and yes, I agree, Arjun, we should fight the battle. And hence, it is known as Dharma Yudh. And where the battle has been fought, it is like Dharma Kshetri, Kurukshetri. So this was the main objective for the Kurukshetra battle. Again, what was the main objective? So that adharma is displaced and dharma is established. Was there any other motive? No. Was land the motive? No. Was fighting for your rights the motive? No. Was fighting for your people the motive? No. Was revenge the motive? No. Nothing. The motive was dharma. To establish dharma, hence we will fight. Okay? Right? It was nothing beyond that. So that was the main objective of the battle. But you know what happens to us sometimes is, we start the journey with a certain thought in our mind, right? There are various reasons to do various things. Right? Suppose we decide to start our spiritual journey, maybe because we love God, right? We love God so much that we enjoy being in His company. And when we chant His name or sing His glories, we feel connected to the Lord, right? It gives us anand. Be very careful. When you are trying to seek the Lord, you are seeking anand, not momentary joys. Anand, not momentary joys which will die out eventually. And what is the purpose of your spiritual journey or a spiritual study? What is the purpose? The purpose is to connect to the Lord. But what happens is, that was the initial motive, initial objective. It is like the vision, the greater vision of an individual, that I want to connect to my Lord. I love Him. But what happens is, as we walk through the journey, as we go on, we gradually realize that the main purpose is lost. We gradually realize that the main purpose of being connected to the Lord is lost. And then what happens? We start enjoying it. कि हाँ, प्रभु का नाम लो तो अच्छा लगता है, प्रभु का नाम लो तो समय निकल जाता है, प्रभु का नाम लो तो सत्संग जाते हैं, so you meet a lot of people, it is good. And after all, it is a good thing to do, right? So your main objective was the love for Lord and to connect. But what happens? You deviate. And some people, they forget that their main objective was to connect. Their main objective was to learn. The main objective was to reach the Lord. But in the process, many a times, they start just preaching and teaching. And they forget that the main objective was just to learn to connect. Everything else was a byproduct, right? कि ठीक है, because you're learning something and there are other people who want to learn the same thing, you say, okay, fine, I'll share. But the main objective of connecting to the Lord and your self journey and the self learning should not leave sight. If that has left sight, then this entire exercise becomes futile. And this is something we have to remind to ourselves. I keep reminding myself also. My only objective is to connect to the Lord. My only desire is to love the Lord. My only desire is to know Him. Everything else is secondary. It is a byproduct. I am not in any way trying to uplift you. I'm just trying to work on myself. If in the process somebody else is benefiting, it is His grace. And that reminder, each one of us should keep giving ourselves. So this was the thing. And then what happened? Arjun started the battle as Dharmyudh, right? And he was very strong. He said, this is a Dharmyudh. We are fighting against Adharm. He was established in that. And he had Sri Krishna as his charioteer. And over here, before we go on, I would request you to tell me in the first 30 shlokas, what different names has Arjun been addressed, has Sri Krishna been addressed with? In the first 30 verses, the different names have been used to address him. What are the different names? And why in that particular verse is he being addressed with that particular name? So he goes on, and then when he starts, he says, Achyut, please take my chariot to the middle. What is Achyut? Achyut means the one who does not fall. Be very careful. When we confide into somebody, we have to confide into a person who himself is strong, right? Suppose you want to cross the ocean or you want to cross the river. Will you hold a twig or will you hold a big trunk? If you hold a twig, the twig will also sink and so will you. But if you hold that big strong trunk, what will happen? The trunk will reach the other side and so will you. So Achyut over here means the one who does not fall. So he is taking the support of whom? The one who will not fall. So if Sri Arjun falls, Krishna will be able to uplift him. That is a very good thing. So he knows, Arjun clearly knows whose company is worth being in. So we have to be very cautious about our company also. Are we in the company of people who are pulling us down, or are we in the company of people who are uplifting us? Right? So he came. So Achyut, and he asked that Achyut take me to the middle of the chariot. And then he looks around, right? He looks. So last time we said there were 3 questions that we talked about. 3 questions were there basically. 1, Yuyutsavaha, Yuyutsav. How many times this verse is used and where it is used? The second was Drishtva. Where all is this verse used? Now Yuyutsav. Yuyutsav comes in 2 places. The first verse and the 28th verse. The first verse, let's look very carefully to the first verse. Okay? The first verse says, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha bhavakah padavaschaiva kim karvata sajjaya. Okay? So over here he says, Samveta yuyutsavaha. So Samveta yuyutsavaha, again yuyutsavaha means the people, Samveta, the people who have gathered to fight. Yudh ki ichha wale. So the people who want to fight the battle have gathered. So please tell me, Dhritarashtra tells Sanjay, tell me about the people who have gathered to fight this battle. Right? And then comes verse number 28. So in the 28th verse, Arjun says, दृष्ट्वे बम स्वजनम कृष्ण युयुत्सुम समुपस्थितम सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखम च परिशुष्यति. So what is it? Drishtve bam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupastitam. Again he says yuyutsum samupastitam. Yuyutsu means the people who have gathered to fight the war, right? Yuyutsu. Again, yudh ki ichha wale sab upastitam. So again, both he says, but the context of both these verses is very different. When Dhritarashtra said, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavah bhavakah pandavaschaiva kim kurvat sanjaya. He said, Sanjay, tell me about the people who have gathered on Dharma kshetre kurukshetre to fight the battle. Right? Tell me about Bhavaka Pandavaschaiva. Tell me about my people, that is my sons, and the other set is Pandava's sons. So when he is talking about the people who have gathered to fight the battle, there are two types of people. One set is mine and the other set is not mine. That is the enemy, that is Pandav Putra. They are not my people. And over here he says, the Babaka means my people. So again, when we start the first verse, it shows us that Dhritarashtra is totally engulfed in Maya. What is Maya? Maya is delusion. What is delusion? Moha. Moha. What is Moha? Moha is where you see two. Main arubo rato rate Maya. Me and mine, you and yours is Maya. Where we see duality, that is Maya. So the first place where we are using this verse is indicating the existence of Maya. Now, when we go on to Arjun's use of the same thing, he says, Drishtvevam swajanam Krishna yutsum samupastitam. Now, Arjun's take is a little different. He says, all the people that are gathered, by verse 28, he has reached that phase that all the people who have gathered are mine. They are my relatives, my friends, my swajan, my Bhishma Pitama, my teachers. So everybody that has gathered, in some way or the other, is mine. They are my swajan. Right? And they have gathered to fight this battle. So over here, there is no duality per se. But Arjun is still in Maya. How? He's saying everyone who has gathered is mine. He is indicating that they are related to me emotionally, physically, by blood, but they are mine. So where that mine comes, there will be somebody who is not yours also, right? So although over here Dhritarashtra is saying my people and Pandava's children, over here Arjun is saying, in the second 28th verse, Arjun is saying everybody on the battlefield is mine, right? All are mine, yet he is not beyond Maya. How? He is not beyond Maya. There is no elimination of Moh. He is still in delusion because that mind is there. Do you get it? That mind is there. So he is also equally deluded, although he says, all are my dear ones who are standing in front of me. Now, me over here, he is not indicating me as the Atma, me as the Satchit Anand Swarup. No. Arjun over here, when he is talking, he is saying everybody is mine, mine as in they are related to me, the body, mind and intellect. So although he has expanded his vision beyond the division like Dhritarashtra, he is still deluded. There is still delusion, there is still Maya. So these are the two places where Yuyutsava comes. At the same time, there are three places where Drishtva comes. Drishtva, where does it come first? In the second verse. In the second verse, what does it say? Drishtva tu padavadikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharya upasagamya raja vachanam bravit. So over here, Drishtva tu padavadikam vyudham duryodhanastada. So over here, Sanjay says that Duryodhan goes to his Acharya, right, and tells him very wittingly, with a good choice of words, that look what I see. In front of me, I see those Pandavas, right? And then he talks about their view and all, but right now the objective is, he's saying, I see those Pandavas, I see them, right? So his drishti, the vision, see, we all say, right, the world is as you are. Everybody sees a different world. As your mental state, so the world, right? When you're very happy, even in the worst of things, you will see good. When you're very depressed, even in the best of things, you'll be able to find something negative. So over here says Drishtve Mam. So in his drishti, he hates the Pandavas and he can see them as others standing on that other side. Those Pandavas. So from his drishti, he's saying those people who we will defeat, who are our enemies. So negativity in his drishti is being seen and he's saying, look at them, our enemies. Then go to verse number 20. The second time Drishtva comes. This is very interesting. The second time Drishtva comes in verse number 20. This is where Geeta actually starts. Atha vyavasthita drishtva dhartarashtran kapitvajaha. Atha vyavasthita drishtva dhartarashtran kapitvajaha. Pravritte shastra sabbate dhanurutyavya padavaha ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यं वेदवाह वहीपते. So he says, Atha vyavasthita drishtva dhartarashran kapitvajaha. Now, over there in the second verse, Duryodhan is looking at the Pandava armies and says, see, those vicious people, those evil people, those weaklings are enemies. At the same time, in verse number 20, Arjun is saying, Atha vyavasthita drishtva dhartarashtran kapitvajaha. He's saying, look at them. Now, Arjun standing here is looking at Duryodhan's side and he's saying, look at those evil people. Again, he's also judgmental right now in 20th verse. Look at them. Those people, those kings, are supporting Duryodhan, he was unjust, he cheated us, he took away our land, and instead of telling him what is right and wrong, they are standing by him to fight against us. How vile can somebody be? That is the vision he is looking at. That is the vision, that is the thought, and that is what he sees. He sees a set of vicious people who were unjust and unwittingly took his kingdom, and they need to be destroyed and set right. Right? So Duryodhan is looking at Pandavas, and the same drishti, Arjun is looking at Duryodhan's army. There is no difference in the drishti over here. Is there any difference? I am right, they are wrong. Duryodhan, Arjun says, I am right, they are wrong. Who are these two looking at? These two are looking at people. Right? People. Simple. People. The bodies. Okay? And then let's go on to verse number 28, where Drishtva comes a third time. And he says, Drishtve mam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam. Drishtve mam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam. So he says, now the drishti has changed. Abhi tak Duryodhan's Drishtva was, they, the evil people, our enemies. 20th verse, Arjun's Drishtva was, again his drishti was, they, the evil people, unjust, our enemies. But now suddenly the third verse, Arjun's drishti kon changes. He said, oh my God, because what? Sri Krishna reminded ki Arjun, this side of the army or that side of the army, they are all related to you. They are all your people only. You win, you lose, ultimately the loss is yours. And Arjun really woke up. He said, yes, he's right. Whether standing on that side of the battlefield or this side of the battlefield, they are mine. So now his vision changes, his drishtikon changes. He says, oh my God, they are all my swajan, they are all my dear relatives, my dear uncles, my teachers. Who is an enemy here? Everybody is mine. Whoever dies, whoever wins, the defeat is going to be mine only, the agony is going to be mine only, because everybody is related to me. Did you see how beautifully Shri Krishna changed his drishtikon? ये जो प्रभु होते हैं ना, he is very, very interesting, very, very naughty at times. When he wants to teach us something, he does not run after us with a stick. He tampers with our mind. Observe. Observe how Arjun's drishti changed. Right? But again, is Arjun's drishti flawless? First verse, again I'll repeat. See, this is very essential. Before we go on, we need to understand what we are trying to learn from the Geeta. नहीं तो futile activity है. That is why chapter 1 is very, very, very important. Many people skip through it and skim through it thinking it is only a Vishad you. Arey bhai, if there is Vishad in you, you need to know that there is Vishad, there is agony, there is turmoil going on in you. You need to identify it. You need to identify the problem to find a solution. If you don't accept and identify the problem, will you be able to find a solution for it? When you say that there is no problem, where is the solution needed? Then band kar do Geeta. When there is no Vishad, no agony, band kar do. Zarurat hi nahi hai. Because you are Anandmay na. Fully Anand. But aisa nahi hai. So this is a chapter in which we need to introspect very deeply. It is not a chapter to just run through. जितनी बार पढ़ो, जितनी बार समझो, pick up a paper, pick up a pen, every time write it, make a book for yourself. Geeta chapter 1, introspection, self-analysis. पूरी जिंदगी we've spent our time analyzing other people. Invest time on yourselves because you cannot control anybody else. If at all you can control yourself. So now what happened here? So again, although he has expanded his heart, okay, we say he expanded and he says everything is mine, but it is again still not right. Why? Because he is saying everybody is mine from the body perspective. So the next question which we were asked last class was, so if Arjun is saying everybody is mine, the sages also say the same thing, that everybody is mine. On the contrary, when the sages say, when the elevated souls say that everybody I look at is mine, and Arjun says that everybody I look at is mine, the sages get strength, right? But Arjun is becoming weak. The minute he realizes, simple, right? The minute he realizes, कि अरे बाबा, I am fighting a battle with somebody who belongs to me. सब मेरे ही तो है, सब मेरा ही खून है, सब मेरे ही रिश्तेदार है, सब मेरे ही दोस्त है. It makes him weak. But the same realization that everybody is mine makes a sage strong. Why? That was the third question. So let's see. So when this realization dawns to Arjun that everybody standing on this battlefield, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre is related to me, is mine, he becomes weak. Vishad utpan hota hai, right? It is not supposed to, this kind of a feeling is not supposed to bring in Vishad in you. Is it? It is supposed to bring in Vairagya. And Vairagya strengthens you. But then what happened to Arjun? Vairagya did not awaken in him. Attachment came in place. What happens then? And when attachment came, what happened to him? Drishtve imam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupastitam. Oh my Lord Krishna, I see everybody who is my swajan, who is my beloved, standing on the battlefield on both sides, wanting to fight a battle. Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushyati. Right? So what is he saying? I am becoming cold. My body is becoming cold. And my mouth is drying. Mukham cha parishushyati. Vepatuscha sharire me. I am shivering. I am trembling now. Roma harshascha jayate. My God, my joy is going out of my pores, or you can say that the hair on my pores are standing erect in dismay. Right? He's so upset that every pore of his body is upset. Gandhi vam shram sate hastat tyakchaiva paridhayate. He's saying this Gandhi is falling out of my hand, and I am unable to stand also. My strength is gone, as if somebody has just taken away all my strength. All my strength has been taken away from me. There is no strength in me anymore. And then, nacha shamno myavasthatum prabhati vachame mana. I can't stand, and my mind, my heart is deluded. मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. I can't think straight. I'm so scared I can't think straight. I'm so upset I can't think straight. As we did in yesterday's session, right? उसमें भी यही था. He is not courageous now. He is talking like a coward, isn't it? And there is no dhairya in him. Dhairya is where you remain calm in adverse situation. Sauraj, Dheeraj. Dheeraj ही नहीं है इसमें. He is falling apart. The great Arjun. Arjun is no ordinary person. And you and me are just like Arjun. Isn't it? Because although we'll say, oh my God, I love everybody, everybody is dear to me, our vision is not correct. Why? Because we are looking at the small eye and not the big eye. There is a small eye, which is the ego, and the big eye, which says Tattvamasi Aham Brahmasmi, I am Satchit Anand Swarup, and everybody standing in front of me is nothing but that divine Lord. He is not a body, he is not a soul, he is not a mind. I am not a body, I am not a soul, I am not a mind. Arjun, though loves everybody, is looking at each and every person as a body, soul, mind. Body, soul, mind. He is saying these people. For him, he is not looking beyond, and he is not looking at that divine which is shining through everybody. He is not saying किससे बादू बैर जगत में कोई नहीं पराया, हर मानव में प्रतिबिंब लेकर उसी ब्रह्म की छाया. No, he is not saying that everybody standing in front of me is Brahman. Everybody standing in front of me is God. Everybody standing with me is that divine. Hence, I cannot hate them. No, that is not his attitude. His attitude is everybody standing in front of me or behind me or in this battle is related to this body which is known as Arjun. So he is talking, operating in Deha Buddhi. Deha Buddhi. Just imagine. That is why when he looks around and says everything is mine, is not strengthening him. It is weakening him. Just imagine. Our drishtikon is very important. विज्ञान, we say ना, एक तो होता है ज्ञान, एक होता है विज्ञान. ज्ञान is knowledge, right knowledge. Vijnana is knowledge of the self. Only when you know the self will you be able to see the self in somebody else, right? You might have all the knowledge in the world. You might say it is the right knowledge and everything, but yet if you do not know the self, will you be able to break the shackles of Maya? Will you be able to break the shackles of Moha? Will you be able to break the shackles of delusion? No. And this is what has happened to Arjun. Although, again I repeat, although he sees everybody as his own, he's seeing everybody from that Deha Buddhi. He has not moved beyond this body sense. Ki I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. He has not moved beyond that. And that is the only difference between Arjun's everybody is mind and the sage's everybody is mind. When you look at everybody from this body relations and blood relations, you become weak. Even when you want to love everybody, because you are unable to love them, you are attached to them. And we have discussed in great depth the difference between love and attachment. Love and attachment cannot be used interchangeably. Love uplifts you, attachment makes you weak. Love is divine, attachment is vile. Love is selfless, attachment is selfish. Love is eternal. It knows no foundations of body. Attachment is not eternal and it is bodily bound. So over here, what has been awakened in Arjun is attachment. So is he better off right now than when he was saying that those are my enemies and these are my people? No. He is still reveling, he is still in that same Maya. So Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan and Arjun are actually floating in the same Maya. Right? And initially we told you the story of why the battle has been fought. The battle was fought because it was a war between Dharma and Adharma. Over here, the battle initially, verse 20, Arjun forgot that the battle is not between them and me. The battle is between principles. Dharma and Arjun. So first thing he dropped that. The minute you drop that, there is a battle of principles, not a battle of person. You're already weak and you have already lost. As Jesus always says, hate the sin, not the sinner. Because why should you hate a person? You have to actually condemn the action which is negative, right? But what do we do in the process? We forget about the action, we start hating that person. Even if that person changes and becomes good, we still hold it against that person because we developed hatred to that body, not to the action or the thought. Yahi to problem hai. This is where we get stuck. And this is where Arjun is also stuck. This is where Dhritarashtra is also stuck. This is where Duryodhan is also stuck. Then how is Arjun better than Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan? उनने एक चीज बहुत अच्छी की. हाँ ठीक है, गुड़ा के शेड, he has all his senses in his control, everything is good, but he chose Rishikesho. He chose Sri Krishna. He chose Achyut to be his charioteer. He said, see, मेरा तो भरोसा नहीं है, कभी भी गिर जाऊंगा. I don't want your army, right? I don't want, how many people? 800,000 people were standing in Arjun's side and 1.2 billion people were standing in the Kaurava side, and the Narayani Sena was at the Kaurava side, knowing that he will have lesser people as compared to the Kauravas. The one right thing, the one right decision that Arjun made was he chose the Lord over everything else, over all the material possessions, over all that was. He said, no, I don't want the Narayani Sena, I don't want anything else. I want Lord to be my companion. I want Lord to be my charioteer, so that if at all I fall, if at all I get deluded, if at all I start thinking in the wrong manner, He will come and uplift me. He will not let me fall. That was the right choice. So what distinguishes Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra from Arjun or Arjun from these two people is only one thing. It is he chose the Lord. So you do not have to be a perfect individual to choose the Lord. You do not have to be there, right? You could be falling, you could be in a mess, you could be creating problems all the time. But as long as you decide to choose the Lord, He is going to help you uplift yourself. He might not solve the problems in your life, or He might not make things easier for you, but He will be there so that even in the worst of situations, you act wisely and you do not make other people suffer. He will guide you. He'll be your guiding light. He'll be your guiding light. And who's the guiding light? Arjun's guiding light is Shri Krishna. Beautiful, isn't it? One right choice. Arjun just made one right choice. The difference between Arjun and the others is only this. He has the Lord. He chose the Lord. He consciously chose the Lord over everything else. Can we do that? If given a choice, can we say, no matter what, everybody else secondary, I choose the Lord. I choose the Lord over my family. I choose the Lord over my parents. I choose the Lord over my material possessions. I choose the Lord over name, fame, and glory. I choose the Lord. That makes Arjun Arjun. No matter how many flaws he might have, this one strength of his was not his strength. His power was the power of the Lord. So although Arjun is in Maya, all the three verses show us that he's still in Maya. All the two Yuyutsavas show that they are still in Maya. Even the expansion of love shows that he is still in Maya. That is why there is Vishad and there is not Anand like the sages. Do we get it? Is it clear? Is it clear? It has to be. It is very essential because unless and until we understand, we cannot move forward. And when you realize that this is all Maya, when you are in Maya, when you are in delusion, when you are in moha, what arises? Fear arises, right? Uncertainties arise. Isn't it? Fear. Because over here, Arjun is now getting scared because he is not beyond Maya. He says, "Ye sab mera hai." And I do not want to fight the battle. Over here, what Arjun says is, I am not going to fight the battle. First thing, I am not even going to talk. I am not even going to pick up my Gandiv. He throws the Gandiv down and he sits down. बैठ गए, बस बैठ गए कि मेरे को ये सब करना ही नहीं है. And after this, when he starts talking, you will realize what kind of an argument is Arjun giving because his thinking is not rational. He has given up his rationality. And the next verse which we do in the next class will tell us what is going on in his mind. Abhi tak? So, we'll stop here. There was something else which I wanted to discuss, but maybe we'll discuss it in the next session. Think about all these things. Think about it very, very deeply. And fear has taken over, right? Why is he fearful over here? The minute you go into Deha Buddhi, let's take it a little bit forward. The minute you go into Deha Buddhi, what happens? Abhi tak, the Lord is his charioteer and he is asking the Lord to lead. The minute this kind of a thought comes, where he has slipped down to being in Deha Buddhi, he has distanced himself with the Lord. Abhi tak he said, Shri Rishikesho or Achyut is my charioteer. He is driving my chariot. It is not me. So what does he say? My Lord is my doer. He is the doer. Karta bhi wo hai, bhokta bhi wo hai. So when the Lord is the doer, is there anything to be scared about? No. Because he is the doer. He is doing everything. I am not doing anything. But the minute you enter into Deha Buddhi, you say, I am going to kill my relatives, my kith and kin. I am going to fight this battle. I am going to destroy. The Lord is not there anymore. So now suddenly Arjun has become the doer. मेरे relatives को मैं ही मार दूंगा. How can I do such a thing? I. Now what is saying? Arjun is saying, I am the doer. I am going to fight this battle. I am going to kill people. I am going to be the cause. Who? I, the ego. I, this body. He is not connected to I, the Satchit Anand Swarup anymore. This is what has happened to Arjun. So in the first 30 verses, what have we realized? Maya hai bas. Arjun bhi Maya mein hai. Dhritarashtra bhi usi Maya mein hai. And Duryodhan bhi usi Maya mein hai. Arjun, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan, no difference at all in their drishti code. No difference at all in their address. Because all are engulfed in Maya. Now the only thing which differentiates Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan from Arjun is Arjun has the Lord with him. And he has not turned to anybody else when he has a problem. He has turned to the God himself. He has turned to Krishna himself. And Shri Krishna is going to help Arjun. This is something we should remember. Whom do we turn to when in distress? Whom do we seek when in distress? Whom do we remember when we want opinions? Socho, where do we look? Ask yourself these questions. We'll go into the depth again. There is a lot that we needed to do. We'll continue in the next session, but please give a serious thought, self-analyze, write down points, and so at the end of verse 30, I am saying that there is no difference between Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra, and Arjun. The initial thought of fighting a dharma yudh has suddenly gone away. The thought of principles and the fight of principles has become a fight of people. Sad, isn't it? And after this faulty outlook, faulty vision, the Vishad which is going to come to his mind is also going to be faulty. It won't be justifiable because that ego is talking, not the Satchitanand Swarup. The body is talking, not the Satchitanand Swarup. Maya has taken full control of Arjun. Amazing, isn't it? How things work. We did not chant when we started with. Let's chant first. And then we will close the class. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Prathamodhyayah Arjuna Vishad Yoga Dhritarashtra Uvacha धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किं कुर्वत सञ्जय सञ्जय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्य राजा वचनं ब्रवीत् पश्यैतां पाण्डुपुत्राणामाचार्यमहतीं च भूम् व्यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरा महेश्वासा भीमार्जुनसमायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः धृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित्कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्त उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तानि बोध द्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यस्य सैन्यार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिताः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि तस्य सञ्जनयन् हर्षं गुरुवृत्तः पितामहः सिंहनादं विनद्योच्चैः शङ्खं दद्मौ प्रतापवान् ततः शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च पणवानकगोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तु मुलोऽभवत् ततः श्वैतेर्हयैर्युक्ते वहति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदद्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मा वृकोदरः अनन्तविजयं राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः धृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्चापराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खादद्मुः पृथक् पृथक् सघोषोधार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यधारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयत् अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यमिदमाह महीपते अर्जुन उवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत यावदेतान्निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यं स्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एतेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धे युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः। सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्तो हृषीकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्। भीष्मद्रोणः प्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरुनिति। तत्र पश्यत् स्थितान् पार्थः पितॄनथ पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा स्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि। तान् समेक्षस्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धूनवस्थितान् कृपया पर्याविष्टो विषीदन्निदमब्रवीत्। अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थिताम् सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाढीवं श्रंसते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः। ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अर्जुनविषादयोगो नाम प्रथमोऽध्यायः। हरि ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। बोलो बजरंग बली की जय। जय श्री राम जय श्री कृष्ण। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। राम राम हरे हरे।